Welcome everybody, I'm your host Lee Adams, and today we have a group of students at Upper St. Clair High School that have done some wonderful things for some people that are much less fortunate than them, and also some teachers and some sponsors and some leaders that help them do that. It's Kids Helping Kids, the wonderful group at Upper St. Clair High School. It was founded in 1999, and the leader of that group is here today with us. He's a world history teacher. He's been there for 35 years. This is his last year at Upper St. Clair High School. Please let me introduce Todd Flynn. Todd, it's great to have you here today.
Thank you.
And next to Todd is also one of the leaders of the group, a sponsor, a director, the social director of the group. She's a teacher of geography, civics, and American history at Upper St. Clair High School. Please let me introduce Kira DeWillett. Did I do okay with your last name? DeWillett?
Impressive, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's tough. That's a tough name.
It's a tough name.
It is a tough name. Now, Todd, back in 1999, you founded this group, Kids Helping Kids. What were you thinking about? Why did you do this?
I had just come back from Haiti, actually. Dr. Latanzi, one of the other group team members with us, we were just finishing up a clinic in La Croix, Haiti. And where we stayed was in a compound that was a school and so forth. And they kind of got word that they found out that I was a school teacher, and they kidnapped me for a day, and I got to spend the day with the teachers and saw the conditions. And we came home, and the day we left Haiti, 22 doctors and nurses came in to open up the clinic. And when I got back to school, student council was in the process of looking for something to take on a large project. And I just kind of said, boy, I kind of have an idea for you. And in about 9 months, we raised $20,000, purchased materials here, shipped them to Haiti, and went down and literally built a school with all intentions to go back again. But the political situation went downhill and downhill and downhill. We actually had a trip canceled. And then about a year and a half ago, Dr. Latanzi called and said, I think I have a fit for us in the Dominican Republic. So we kind of jump-started and got back again, and the kids you're going to get to see here was the first group to get down. And
Now, you built a school. Tell me about that.
We sent money down for the foundation and the block work, and then we shipped all the materials down for the roof and the interior walls and skylights and wiring, and then took a team of kids, and some of the kids worked with the doctors at the clinic, and some of them worked with myself and another teacher at the time, and we put the roof on and left, and when we got there were walls, and we left there was a roof.
Wow, that is great stuff. Now, Kira, how did you get involved with the group?
Well, when I started my teaching career, Mr. Flynn here was my mentor teacher. So I worked with him for a solid year. And I was getting out of the military recently, separated from the Army, and I often told him that I missed the traveling and missed helping other people. And so I think as soon as he figured out the details of the trip, he asked me right away if I'd be involved, and how could you say no? So.
Now, you were in the military. Talk about that. What did you do in the military?
I was a quartermaster officer, captain in the Army. I served 4 years at Fort Bragg. Did a lot of airborne things. I did all that crazy stuff, jumped out of planes, and my soldiers packed parachutes. And we did a few overseas missions, spent some time in Baghdad. But then I decided to get out and get a real job. And so that brings me to Upper St. Clair.
Well, I think that's a real job, jumping out of planes. But now, did you go to the military right after high school or right after college?
College. I did ROTC at Pitt, and then was commissioned in graduation, and then started about a month later.
What made you do that?
Originally, I wanted to scare my parents, so I tried it. Called them and said, "Hey, guess what I'm trying?" It was a way for me to pay for school by myself. I was always independent that way, and the travel and a way to give back to your country and be a leader, it just all fit.
That's great stuff. That's really great stuff. Now, Todd, talk about being a teacher at Upper St. Clair High School. I mean, you've been there 35 years, right? What's it like? I mean, people look at, from the outside, look at Upper St. Clair, and they have certain visions of what it is. What is it like on the inside Upper St. Clair High School?
I don't think it's what people see when they walk by the building or see the building. I can tell you honestly, and this is a firm belief that I have, kids really haven't changed in 35 years. Kids are still kids. They still want direction. They still want leadership. They still want to be involved. When we left, I thought this was a pretty amazing experience. When you talk to the kids, one of the most gratifying as an adult and as a teacher, we really left with 18 kids that were not really together. They weren't in the same social groups. As a matter of fact, there were 4 or 5 different groups that were very, very different. Through the week, I kept saying to Kira and Dr. Latanzi and Dr. Gaudio, you see what's happening with the kids. When we came back, each one of them had 17 new brothers and sisters. And that's what you don't see when you drive by. You don't see those things at Upper St. Clair.
Well, that's really great. And Kira, does that also happen in the military when people come into the military from all different parts of life and they end up doing things together? It kind of bonds you, doesn't it?
It does. It's an everlasting bond. All the things that you see, all the money and the things, the privilege and all of that, it goes away. It doesn't matter. It's just all about the bond you have.
Now, Todd, you said something interesting. Kids haven't changed in 35 years. Now, when I went to school, I think I was within that time frame, although I don't know. I'm getting so old, it's hard to remember. But back when I went to school, now it wasn't Upper St. Clair High School, I went to Penn Hills High School, and my parents were just fortunate to put food on the table. So we weren't thinking about going to help people down in the Dominican Republic because we were just trying to survive ourselves. So, I mean, I think there's a little difference there, at least, in that some of the parents maybe are a little bit better off so that their kids have these opportunities, which I think are great opportunities. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, but I think even when you were in Penn Hills, had you been given the opportunity, and I think you probably would have really jumped on it. And kind of in going with how I don't think you get the true picture of Upper St. Clair riding by it, I'm just going to bore you to death with one quick little story. The very first day we were there, and we weren't really yet a team. I mean, we were 24 individuals.
This is when you were first day, you were where?
In the Dominican.
Oh, in the Dominican, okay.
Our first full day there. We set off on a hike, and the tropical storm had just hit 2 weeks before we got there and had really devastated the island. And we got to a bridge, and I looked up, and it's kind of a bridge over the River Kwai job with a suspended bridge made out of freshly cut bamboo. And the bridge was bouncing this way and going this way. And we kind of looked at the kids and said, boy, please don't Tex-Mex home. Let's not anybody die. And every single one of them went across. And we climbed the mountain. We got to a mountain that had been to a village that had actually, it was about 8 or 9 days that they were totally separated with nothing. And we delivered some supplies, and the doctors did a clinic. When it was time to leave, we were probably in the neighborhood of 6 or 7 miles back from home base. It started to rain, and rain like nobody in Upper St. Clair has ever seen. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And not one so-called pretty kids from Upper St. Clair said a word. They trooped right through it. Nobody complained. Nobody whined. We got back to the bridge, had to cross the bridge in the rainstorm. And that's when I kind of said to Kira, we got a good group of kids here.
That's great stuff. Kira, you say you're the social director of this group. What does that mean?
Well, Tracy Smith and I are kind of taking this from Todd here because he's retiring. And we're so different. We kind of cover everything. She's very detail-oriented, type A. She gets everything done that needs to be done on paperwork, the plane tickets and all that. And I kind of do all the abstract stuff, like the social stuff. So between the two of us, we get it all done.
Well, it's interesting. Now, you say you're a social director. Do you have, when you're dealing with your kids, your students, can you get too friendly? Meaning that there's got to be a line to a certain degree. Do you understand what I'm saying? And can that even apply into the high school in your work?
I think, yeah, there definitely is a line. I mean, I would call all of these kids that you're going to meet my friends. And when we were there, we all used first name basis and all of that. But it's interesting, when we came back, it just went right back to school as normal. I mean, it went back to calling me appropriately. But when we're out of school, we're just all friends. So I think as long as you keep in mind that when you're in school, that's how it is. And when you're out, we're just a group of friends, honestly. So, yeah, I'm sure it can be crossed, but we handle it pretty well.
Yeah, that's okay. And Todd, who's been maybe an influence in your life, a major influence in your life that makes you want to do stuff like this and how you are?
I would truly say Dr. Latanzi, who couldn't be with us today. It-
And
It's
how so?
definitely-
Well, how is he an influence to you?
His devotion to his family, number one, and then pretty much every other waking moment, he kind of has a saying and shared it with the kids, how do you want to be remembered? And he is truly a person that lives up to that.
That's great stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
That's great stuff. Yeah. And how about you, Kira? Who's been a big influence on you, and why would you want to do these kind of things?
Well, one, I have a 2-year-old son, so he right away motivates me to do things that I can tell him about later or share with him. I want him to know that we all took part in this. But these kids that I get to teach every day, a lot of them, people wouldn't necessarily think this, but they raised the money for the trip themselves. I mean, they worked. Everyone would think they kind of just their parents paid for it or whatever, but a lot of these kids work their butts off to get enough money to go on the trip. So, I mean, seeing them do that just makes me want to do it for years to come.
That's really great. Well, Todd and Kira, I want to thank you both for coming. What a great group of kids you put together, and you went down and did some wonderful things, and our kids are going to come and talk about some of those things. But congratulations on 35 years at Upper St.
Thank you.
Clair, and I wish you the best in your retirement. And Kira, I wish you the best in
Thank you.
taking this group over, and what a wonderful group, and I think there's some great memories to come.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Also joining us today is another sponsor of the group. She's a teacher at Upper St. Clair High School. She's been there for 5 years. She's a physics teacher. She went to Baldwin High School, then went on to Lehigh for college. Tracy Smith. Tracy, it's nice to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
And next to Tracy is an individual who helped with the trip from the medical perspective. He's originally from Monessen, went to Harvard and also Harvard Medical School. He works at Swickley Valley Hospital in the emergency department. Dr. Frank Gaudio. Dr. Gaudio, it's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Tracy, talk about the trip and how did you get involved? Well, first, how did you get involved with this group?
It was actually very interesting. One day, Todd Flynn had approached me, and I didn't even know him that well. And he came up and said, "Hey, we have this, trip in mind." And I was so honored to be asked. I didn't even ask the details. I'm like, "Oh yeah, great. I'm in a trip where we're going somewhere and helping people. That sounds great." And then afterwards, I sat and thought, I wonder why he came up and was talking to me. I didn't know if it was the engineering background that I have that maybe kind of helped out and got me a little leg up, but I was honored to be asked and very excited to be a part of it.
What is your engineering background?
I worked for Daimler Chrysler for 4 years before I decided that I wanted to become a physics teacher. So originally all my education was in mechanical and automotive engineering, so I did that.
I see. So did you ever find out why he came up to ask you?
I don't know if I ever got the straight answer.
We got to find that out.
I know. We'll have to ask him.
I think so. Dr. Gaudio, how did you get involved with the group?
I got involved with the group when Dan Latanzi, an associate and a friend of mine, and I were speaking at a baseball game one day. And he said, "Would you be interested in a medical mission?" And I said, "Of course I would be. When would you like to go?" And that was the start of it.
Had you ever done that before?
I've done things like that before. I've been on Outward Bound. I've been on other missions that weren't medically oriented, but this is the first time that I actually had a chance to go and use some of my medical skills really in a foreign country and in an underdeveloped country.
Interesting.
And so that made it much more interesting from my standpoint.
Yeah. Well, now you grow up in Monessen. What made you think of reaching for Harvard? Because I think Monessen has some similarities to Penn Hills, where I grew up, and there weren't a lot of people where I grew up talking about Harvard. How did you reach that high?
It was a combination of things, but the biggest influence was my father, who insisted that I go to college somewhere, and a friend of mine who we would periodically see in the summer, who was lucky enough to get into Yale. And he would come back to Monessen and tell us about the Ivy League and what things were like in New Haven or in Cambridge, places that seemed exotic and interesting, and it seemed to be a nice match of athletics, academics, and real-world experiences.
So when you left Monessen, you get into Harvard, you leave Monessen, you go to Harvard, it had to be a whole different world, I'm guessing, than where you're from. I'm just guessing. Will you tell me?
Cambridge and Monessen are a world away, and it's culture shock for about the first 6 months. You're thrown into a situation not only culturally but academically where, for example, within my room freshman year, 2 of the 3 people were valedictorians and neither was me.
Well,
Both had 1600s on their college boards, which was a perfect score back then as well.
That's amazing. Just a quick story. My nephew goes to Carnegie Mellon. He's from Freeport. He plays football down there. And the first week of school, he's in Carnegie Mellon. And the teachers up there, math teachers, get writing something on the board. And one of the students gets up and just stands up and said, "That's wrong," and walks up to the board and erases it and does it differently. And he called my sister, who's his mother, and said, "Mom, this is a little different than Freeport." But anyway, I thought that was kind of, it just reminded me of that. Tracy, what's it like being a teacher at Upper St. Clair High School?
I absolutely love it.
And why?
You know, first I did the career change because I wanted to have a bigger influence and to get down and to be able to work with people and share my passion for science and mathematics. And teaching first just gives me that opportunity, and it's like play. It's not work. It's not a job. It's fun every day. And then to be in a school like Upper St. Clair, where the staff and the administration are so amazing and so supportive, and the students are so respectful, and you get good mornings and thank yous and let me help you with this, and everybody is so one big community. It just makes everything perfect.
Well, did you have to get an education degree after the engineering background?
I did. I had to go back. I tried to find the fastest way possible to do it, and the University of Michigan was my way. I had to go full-time for 1 year, and that was enough to get a master's in education and get my certification.
Quick bit of advice I'm going to ask you. My daughter's a senior at Penn State in biomedical engineering, but she has an interest in teaching. So what should I tell her from you?
I would say try the biomedical engineering. See what you like. I went into the engineering as, I'm going to give this 2 to 4 years, see if this is the right fit for me. But if I don't feel like this is what I want to do every day of my life for the rest of my life, then I don't think it's a good fit. But I wanted to make sure that I gave it a chance because I loved the work. It was great work. It's just the bigger picture of what I was leaving behind and what as a person I was doing to impact my community. I felt that teaching, I could do that much better. I felt I could leave the car design to somebody else.
It sounds like you really made the right choice for you since you say you absolutely love Upper St. Clair High School.
I definitely feel that I have.
Now, Dr. Gaudio, tell me about the trip. What stands out to you looking back at the trip that you take with you from that trip?
One of the memories that I have of the trip was the spirit of the people that we met there. This was a country on an island that had pockets of poverty on a good day, and throw in a tropical storm and the devastation that that causes. When we arrived, the spirit of the people, from the first person we met at the airline desk, the people in customs, the people that we met where we stayed, the people in the neighborhood, the people in the villages, their spirit was something really to behold. And I think that that's one of the most important parts of having people survive day to day, anywhere, under any circumstances. And I hope that that's something that all the young men and women take back with them, just remembering their spirit, their attitude about things, and how nothing really could get them down. There may be roadblocks or hurdles, but they were things that the people in that country just wanted to get over. And another part of the trip that I think I really think about and reflect on was the part of the day that we actually called, I think, reflection time. At the end of the day, after everyone had been out and had done their different job that day or their different activity that day or whatever they were involved with, we came back together as a group and talked about some of the things that made an impact on us that day. And I think there you could see that it was something more than a trip or an outing or something that was done for a week. It really became a part of everyone who was there. And when people talked about their feelings or talked about things that they had felt that day or things that they had done that day, you could tell that it was making an impact on these young people. And that for me was probably one of the most rewarding parts, to know that it wasn't about the people whose lives we had touched that particular day in the Dominican, but the 18 other young men and women who are with us whose lives may be changed. And they go out and touch 18 more, and then it starts to just multiply and go up exponentially from there.
That's great. Tracy, how about you? What thoughts did you have looking back at the trip that stand out in your mind?
You know, there's so many different directions to go for an answer, but when you think about the students here and the people there and the children, one thing that really was amazing to me is I do not speak Spanish, and my high school French is a little rusty when that would have been useful. And even without speaking the language, how easy it is to communicate. And there were times when we had children around us and we're playing games and trying to ask each other questions, and you're looking at each other and you know that neither can speak the same language, and you start using your hands and facial expressions and laughing. It was, I think, the first day we were there, and students were teaching me how to play dominoes, children in the Dominican Republic, trying to teach the rules and trying to tell me what sports they liked, and just we were laughing and I was guessing and acting things out, and just that in the end we got it. We were able to communicate and get the message across to each other. And then with adults too, we went to a village on one of the days, and it just happened. Usually we had a few people that could speak Spanish that worked as interpreters, but that trip we didn't. And so there were a bunch of us, and just communicating with this village woman who was kind of taking charge, it just felt so good. We got everything organized and knew we were communicating. You're thinking, yes, that's exactly, and we both had big smiles on our face, and we're able to organize, the whole village and get them in line for food and clothes, and they thanked us with coffee, and even though I didn't know all the words they were saying, you could tell how thankful they were that we were there. So it was even though without speaking the language, being able to communicate just out of the passion, I think that was one great memory for me.
That's great. Last question for you, Dr. Gaudia. Let's say medical professionals are watching this, or kids in Upper St. Clair are watching this. What would you say to them that maybe they would consider doing something like this?
I think that you really have very few chances in your life to go on a trip that isn't entertaining, that isn't a vacation, that isn't there for your enjoyment, but it's a life-changing experience. And if you ever think that, boy, I wonder what that would be like, or that might be interesting, or maybe I'm here for a reason and there's something bigger out there than Upper St. Clair, or Monessen, or even Harvard for that matter. I think you should get in contact with some of the people at the high school. I think there are hundreds of groups all over the country that do the very same thing, but in very different ways, and I think this community is blessed and extremely lucky to have the kinds of leaders that they have who are making this sort of thing happen right here locally.
Great stuff. Tracy, if a kid in Upper St. Clair, a family of children, would be interested in looking into doing something like this, what is the process?
It starts, we actually have 2 groups of students, teachers, and doctors set up for next school year. So towards the end of the school year, we start preparing for the next trip. And there was anyone interested that was going into their junior, senior year could go on the trip. Anyone in the school could just be involved in the group and help support, freshmen, sophomores. They could get involved at a younger age to help with the fundraisers, maybe do some local activities that we'd like to get more local kids helping kids involvement. And then there's an application process, writing essays, having conversations with people, and then usually around the end of the school year, we're preparing for the next school year.
Are there more kids that apply that you can take?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. And this coming year, the first year we had 1 group go in the fall. Next year we're trying to have a group in the fall and the spring. So that would allow twice as much students. And it's because of the overwhelming interest from the students, from the teachers, and from our local community members that we're able to possibly, have more than 1 trip. So.
And what are you looking for in that application process for someone that might be watching this?
It's the passion. Why do you want to do this? If you just want this for a vacation or to get out of school, that's definitely not it. Because you end up getting further behind in school and having an awful lot of work to do, and it definitely is not a vacation. But to kind of have those right reasons to want to do this to make a difference. Because in your future, after high school, after college, that you want to continue to make a difference, and this is a first step. Or maybe it's not a first step, maybe it's a second or third step. But a lot of these students, you would be amazed in the amount of volunteer work that the students have already participated in. It makes me ashamed sometimes that I haven't been doing more myself.
Yeah.
So it's somebody that's passionate and wants to do it for all the right reasons.
Well, Dr. Gaudio, thank you for coming and sharing some of your thoughts about the trip. I know you did some wonderful things down there from a medical side, and you didn't have to do that, but you decided to do it and really explained so well how much you get back from doing something like this. And I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing that with us.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me, and thanks for getting the word out to the rest of the community.
Sure. And Tracy, good luck to you as you and Kira are taking over the reins from Todd. Good luck to you organizing everything. I know you're the organizer, but I can only see bigger and better things coming your way, and maybe we can have you back and talk about more trips in the future.
That would be wonderful. Thank you very
great.
much.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Also joining us are 2 students that went on the trip, Upper St. Clair students. Our first student is a junior at Upper St. Clair. She's a track person. She's into indoor track and field, pole vault. Oh, the pole vault, geez, that scares me. Probably scares her parents too. But she's one of the members of Kids Helping Kids, Kelsey Mailman. Kelsey, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And next to Kelsey is a senior at Upper St. Clair High School. She's a member of National Honor Society, the crew, and also going to the University of Pittsburgh Honors College. She also knits and crochets. Colleen Lloyd.
Yes.
Hi,
Thank
Colleen.
You. Hi.
Did I say croquet?
Crochet. Did I spell that wrong?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just thought croquet. What are we talking about?
I did play croquet yesterday, actually.
Did you?
Yes.
So you croquet and crochet.
Right.
That rhymes. Yeah. So Pitt Honors College, that's pretty impressive. How hard was it to get into that?
Well, I was very fortunate. At Upper St. Clair, there are a lot of opportunities to take difficult classes and good teachers, and yeah.
That's great.
So.
Kelsey Mailman, do you get teased about your last name?
Yeah, all the time.
Well, you shouldn't, because my brother's a mailman, so that's a very honorable profession because we all need the mail. So what do they say to you about your last name?
I get, is your dad a mailman a lot, and postman, and people just call me by my last name all the time, but I don't mind it anymore.
So it doesn't get old?
I mean, it gets old, but I've just gotten used to it, and I accept it.
I got you. Now, Colleen, what other things do you do outside of school that are fun for you?
I'm on the crew team, and I really enjoy that. I really like to row, and I just think it's a great sport. We have a lot of fun. Yeah, and I'm into music. I like to listen to music a lot. And
What kind, like, do you have an iPod?
yes, I
Like,
do.
what's some of your favorite groups?
Oh, goodness. I'm a diehard Beatles fan.
Are you?
I've been ever since I was a little girl. I grew up on the Beatles and, yeah, Pink Floyd and that whole generation
So
of
your
music.
parents' music is what you
I
like.
guess.
But it's good music.
It is good music.
Yeah.
But yes, the Beatles, the greatest band that ever
They
existed.
are. They really are. I just met someone the other day. He grew up 80 miles from the Beatles, and
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
But anyway, Kelsey, how about you? What do you do for fun outside of Upper St. Clair High School?
I like to bake and hang out with my friends and just like go to movies. And I like playing Guitar Hero also.
Do you?
So, yeah.
What's your favorite things that you bake?
Cookies. I actually just made cookies for my friend's birthday today.
What kind of cookies are you good at?
Chocolate chip, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody loves chocolate chip. Now, Colleen, what made you decide to get into this group?
I just thought it was such a neat opportunity. I'm sort of interested into maybe going into medicine, and what better way to, I don't know, wet your feet a little bit than go on one of these trips. I don't know, it's just something that I've always wanted to do, and I do some volunteer work, and it just seemed to make sense.
Did you work with Dr. Gaudio and the medical team down there?
Mm-hmm. Some of us got the opportunity to go in and see the medical clinic, and it was really cool. It was really neat. We actually got to practice drawing blood on each other, and yeah.
Nothing like drawing blood.
Nothing.
There's nothing like it. Kelsey, how about you? What made you want to do this?
I had Mr. Flynn as a teacher last year, and he would always talk about his trips to Haiti, and that really interests me. And then one day he announced to our class that there was going to be a trip next year, and if anyone was interested to come to the meeting. And the more he talked about it, I got more and more interested, and I decided to apply, and I was accepted. So I was really excited, and Mr. Flynn was really the main person that inspired me.
I see. Now, you are in the Spanish club. I assume you take Spanish.
Yeah, well, I only had 3 years of it, so.
Did that help you down there?
I had enough to know the basics to do like the hi, like how are you. But then there's a couple other girls that went with us that were almost fluent in Spanish, so they really helped us a lot, especially in the medical clinics with communicating with patients.
What do you think it would take to be fluent in Spanish? I'm not sure just taking classes does it. What do you think it would take?
I think it just means just being around it all the time and like being around people that speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's right. I think that's basically it.
Yeah.
Now, Colleen, how did this trip impact you? What do you take back from this trip and how it's affected you?
I think it gave me a whole new perspective. I mean, I hadn't left the United States before this trip, and it was just a great opportunity to see a different culture and to see the way people live. And I definitely felt very fortunate to live where I am and to be given all the great opportunities that I've been given to go and be able to see different parts of the world. I think it was an incredible opportunity.
Yeah. Would you recommend it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, are you excited for college?
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Yeah.
It's a great time. Good luck to you there.
Thank you.
Kelsey, how about you? What do you take from this trip?
I thought it was amazing to see how happy and grateful people were just for the small things that we gave them and for what they had. Even if they just had a small house or a bag of rice that we just gave them, they were so happy and so grateful for the little things they had. Then I was able to take from that, coming back to St. Clair where we have so much, just to be grateful for what we truly have.
Yeah. What a great lesson to learn. Well, I want to thank you both for coming and joining us for a little bit today. Colleen, good luck to you at the University of
Thank
Pittsburgh.
you.
It's a great school
Yeah.
and honors college. That's even better. And in medicine, what a great profession to reach for. And Kelsey, you got another year at Upper St. Clair?
Yeah.
Well, that should be fun. You'll be
Yes,
like at
I'm
the
looking
top of the
forward to
food
that.
chain.
Yeah.
You'll be a senior then. That's good. Well, thank you very much for coming, and
Thank you.
good luck
Yeah,
to both
thank
of you. Also joining us today are two kids from Upper St. Clair High School, both seniors. Our first additional member of Kids Helping Kids is he's a senior. He plays baseball at Upper St. Clair High School. He's going on a baseball scholarship to the University of Buffalo. Please let me introduce Brian Latanzi. Hi, Brian. Glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
And next to Brian is also a senior. She's going to Clemson University down in South Carolina. My brother went to South Carolina University, so he knows that area. She played big rivals. She played field hockey and is on the National Honor Society. Jennifer Findle. Jennifer, it's great to have you here.
It's great to be here.
You know, Jennifer, I was just saying, you were asking some questions before we came on air, and I don't see a lot of kids being question askers. I'm not sure that's the right term, but I'm going to term it that way. Mm-hmm. So, do you have a question for Brian?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
And what is it?
Brian, could you tell us a little bit about your experience with bug spray?
There was a time on the trip, it was after dinner and everything, when we were on the trip, we had to spray ourselves with bug spray before we went to sleep because, I mean, the mosquitoes were pretty bad. And the one guy on the trip taught us how to put it on our face before we went down, and I didn't do it the right way. There's one time I was spraying myself, that went to do my face, and I accidentally sprayed it in my eyes, and that doesn't feel very good. It's like pepper. I don't know if it's as bad as pepper spray, but I mean it was bad, and so I had to wash it out.
He just flipped out. Like, his flip out was pretty funny.
Well, how did you flip out?
I don't remember how I flipped out.
Really?
It was
He
painful.
thought he was blind.
Well, that's a problem. So who helped you?
Nobody.
Nobody? These are kids helping kids.
Everybody was laughing.
They were. Well, okay. Well, that was a good question, Jennifer. Now, do you have a question for me?
Yeah, actually, how did you get into this, into the whole interviewing sort of thing?
That's a great question. I'll try to be brief. I was watching television at home, and I had a local cable access show, and these guys were talking to each other, and it looked like they were in their living room just saying, "Oh, the pirates really stink." And they were going on. I thought, I could do that. So I called the guy up, and I said, "Hey, I want to be one of the panel members." And so I got up there, and I said, "You know what, I have another idea." And they go, "What?" I said, "I want to be the interviewer. I want to be the guy that has an interview show and bring people on because I like to ask questions." And they go, "Do you have any experience?" I said, "No, but I'm a professional. I went to school and da-da-da-da-da." And they said they would give me a chance, and now 12 years later, here we are, and we're still doing this kind of stuff. So that was a really good question.
12 years?
12 years later, yeah. So anyway, that's a great question. I think it's a really good thing to be a question asker. Do you think it is?
Sometimes. In class, sometimes, I think teachers get a little annoyed, but...
Yeah. But you know what, Jennifer? People get annoyed at me too because sometimes I ask too many questions and they don't want that, I guess. But so you got to kind of learn when to pull back, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'll work on that.
But it's a great trait. I'm telling you, it's a really good. That means you're a better communicator, I think. Anyway, back to Brian. Brian, you're a baseball player. I played high school, college baseball. What position do you play?
I'm a catcher.
You're a catcher.
Yes.
And have you always been a catcher?
But yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how hard is it on your knees and your legs?
It's pretty hard, but you got to get through it. That's what you do whenever you decide to be a catcher. You have to accept that. So.
Do you talk to umpires?
Yeah.
What do you say? What kind of conversations?
At the beginning of the game, you go up and shake their hand and meet them, And then, as the game goes on, you talk about different things, like where you're going to school and just different things,
Do you think being nice to an umpire might help you get more strikes for the pitcher?
Yes.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
And how about batters? Do you talk to batters?
Sometimes if I know them, there's always a little, how you doing? Because I know a lot of guys that we played against this year, so, if they come up, he's my friend, I'll say, how you doing? Yeah.
Who were the good teams you played against?
We played Peters Township, who actually just won the Whitfield Championship, but we beat them twice.
Did you?
And, Bethel Park is very good, and Cannon Mac's pretty good. So.
Gotcha. Jennifer, why did you choose Clemson University?
I can't really explain it. When we went, I just fell in love with it. I love the Southern lifestyle, laid back, and there's no specific reason. When I went for my tour, I just fell in love with it. So.
Do people talk in a Southern drawl?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. And do they have paw prints on the streets?
Yep, they have paw prints on the streets leading like from the highway to the stadium.
Now, my brother Brian played baseball for University of South Carolina, and they played Clemson, and there were 10,000 people at that game.
Oh yeah, big rivals.
Yeah, big rival. Anyway, now, Brian, why did you get into this group? Why?
Well, mostly through my dad. My dad's Dr. Tansey, and he was one of the main people involved in this, and you can talk to Mr. Flynn and got everything started. And my dad had been going to Haiti for the past couple of years, and I thought it was pretty cool. And he really wanted me to come on this trip, something to do before I went to college, something to do with him before I went to college. So it was kind of mostly influenced by my dad. And I also wanted to help a little bit. I've never really been to a different country, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Now, Mr. Flynn has wonderful things to say about your dad. You live with him every day. What kind of guy is he?
He's a good guy. I mean, we get along pretty well. We share a lot of the same interests when it comes to sports. We get along pretty well.
Well, that's something to say, especially at your age, because at your age, with parents, sometimes you don't always get along with your parents because they're telling you things. But you're getting along pretty well.
He's doing a good
good
job.
guy.
Yeah, real good guy.
That's great. That's great. And Jennifer, what made you get involved with this?
Actually, another girl who went on the trip and we were in Mrs. Smith's physics class the year before we went, and she just brought it up to our class and was saying, like, if you guys want to sign up for this thing. Nobody in our class really went for it, but we just looked at each other and we were like, I definitely want to do that. So I had actually been looking for some sort of mission trip in the school because I knew we went to Haiti, but the trip kind of stopped for a little bit, and I actually went to my guidance counselor like the year before asking if there were any sort of trips or anything, and there weren't. So it's kind of like a lucky break because I hadn't heard about it before until Mrs. Smith told us about it. So.
What did your parents think of you going on this trip?
They were really excited for me because they know that like I've been wanting to do something like this for a while, so they were glad.
Are your parents questioners?
Yeah.
Are they? So do you think that's where you got it from?
Probably.
Yeah, that's cool. Matter of fact, when I teach in high school, I do some health classes. I go and talk in high schools about a certain thing in health. And I tell kids, I think it's great to learn how to be a good communicator. And one of the ways to be a good communicator is to take interest in other people and ask them questions. Dale Carnegie writes that in his book. And I think that can help you in life, whether in your relationships, in your job, etc. Brian, does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big question asker,
But yeah, I'm just saying that because I think it's a good thing to try to adopt, because my son is similar. He's an athlete. He goes to high school in the South Hills, and he's not a big question asker either, but I'm trying to tell him that it's a good thing to do. But you can take it for what it's worth. Why did you choose the University of Buffalo to play baseball?
Well, whenever you're going through the baseball recruiting process, you can really only go to the schools that you want to where they recruit you from. And my number one thing is I really wanted to play baseball in college. Going to the University of Buffalo is very good education. That's a huge plus. And I'm also going to have a pretty good chance of playing earlier if I go there. So that was mostly my main thing, was trying to play as early as I can. And they have a new coaching staff, which is very good. So they know what they're talking about.
Now, Brian, I went to a small school up near Erie to play baseball, and I remember at tryouts they were hitting fly balls to us in the snow. So I was trying to find the ball through the white snow, and it was kind of a challenge. So, but hopefully you guys will take some southern trips or have some indoor stuff up there.
Yeah, we do all the tryouts and everything in the fall, so it's still pretty nice when we get there. And then we train all winter, and then we go to, my freshman year we're going to California, and they're in Texas this year for about, they go on a month, they travel around for a month.
That's great. That's great. Jennifer, what did you take from the trip? What did you take home as a person from this trip?
USC is called like the bubble, and I always sort of took my life and everything for granted, like all the things that I have and stuff. And going there and seeing that all these people live with pretty much nothing, and they're still such happy, like everybody sort of talked about the spirit that these people have, and I just try to not take many things for granted anymore, because I realize that, you know, these people can be so happy living with so little, and we don't really need any of that material stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. And how about you, Brian? What did you take from the trip?
Well, for me, it was a huge eye-opener. I mean, you hear about how poor it is down there and where they, you know, the houses that they live in are so small, but you really don't realize it until you see it. It's really unbelievable, you know, once you see how terrible the conditions are down there. So that was the main thing I got out of it. You know, just a huge eye-opener for me.
Gotcha. Jennifer, what about, you didn't know all the kids that went down, right?
No.
But how did that work? Did you all get closer?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, the bus ride there, like, once we got off the plane, was pretty much, I mean, some people were talking and hanging out and stuff, but it was kind of still separate groups. You know, you hung out with whoever your group was or whatever at the high school. But definitely by the time we came home, we were, like Mr. Flynn said, we were completely a family. I know all of these people better than I feel like I know even a lot of my friends, just because the situation we were in, we all just were brought together by it. So
That's great. Well, Brian, I want to thank you for coming and joining us and talking with us.
Thank you.
And great luck to you up at the University of Buffalo in your baseball career. Maybe we'll see you down at PNC Park someday.
Let's hope. That's the goal.
Plan, huh? Yeah, that's the plan. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And Jennifer, it's great to have you here. It's always a pleasure to have a student that's a questioner. I think that's a great thing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it can annoy people, but that's okay. Don't worry about that. I annoy people too, but I still think it's a great thing to be a questioner, because that means you're going to be a good communicator. So anyway, good luck to you down in Clemson with
Thank
all those
you.
Southerners, and you're going to
Thank
bring a
you.
little Pittsburgh influence.
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Also joining us are two additional seniors at Upper St. Clair High School. The first one is the captain of the field hockey team, president of the law club. She teaches cooking classes to little kids at the Young Chefs Academy, and she's going to be attending the University of South Carolina. Samantha Jones. Samantha, it's great to have you here.
It's great to be here.
And next to Samantha is also a senior. He's going to Elon University, and he's been in the Latin Club and National Honor Society. Drew Hinsman. Drew, it's nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Samantha, what kind of things do you teach the little kids to cook?
Everything. Last week we did whole wheat pizza crust with a pesto sauce and oven dried tomatoes.
So it's healthy.
It is. Some of it is.
Some of it is.
Yeah.
Why did you do that? How did you get into that?
Actually, my friend Jen, who you just talked to, kind of through a connection, mutual connection, got me an interview there, and I think she's actually starting there soon too, so we'll be working together.
So your friend is Jennifer, and she's going to Clemson, and you're going to South Carolina. How did that happen?
I mean, I guess I went with the, obviously the better choice. She actually, she didn't get into USC. She wanted to go to USC. I'm just kidding. No, she's going to Clemson. I'm going to USC, and
Maybe
during
you'll see
game
each other.
days, we'll have we won't talk to each other, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll visit each other.
Did she ask you questions?
Yeah, she, I was in physics with her in Mrs. Smith's class last year, and I've never seen a child ask so many questions.
What do you think of that?
I think that questions are good to an extent, but when you really, you have to ask the velocity and the acceleration on everything, maybe to tone it down.
So you just need to learn when to stop asking questions.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But no.
I've been told that too. But Drew, why Elon?
I really like the service opportunities that they have there. They were actually #1 in the nation last year with community service. So I plan to continue this community service next year and throughout my 4 years.
So you picked Elon because they're a great community service school.
Yeah, and it's also beautiful.
That is beautiful.
It's in North Carolina.
North Carolina. It is beautiful. Now, how does that come from a guy at Upper St. Clair? How does community service become such an important thing to you?
Well, when we left for the trip, it was in the heart of the application process for schools. And the trip really influenced my decision making because I saw what people have and what people don't have. And I really wanted to help others, and I learned that from this trip.
So this trip had that big of an impact on you.
Yeah, it really did.
Why did you want to go on the trip?
Well, I learned about it in my history class with Miss Woolett, and it just sounded like a good time. And I didn't know details at first when I applied, but it really turned out for the best. It was a great trip.
Yeah. Samantha, why did you want to get involved with this?
Mrs. Smith had actually brought it to my attention in my physics class, and I think when I got the application, it was due like the next day, and there'd already been like meetings and all this stuff, and I hadn't gone to any of it because I didn't even know the trip existed. And right away, I was very interested in it, and I really wanted to be a part of it.
Now, what part of the trip, Drew, impacted you? Is there things that you remember that were fun for you, that was good for you?
We played baseball with the locals, and that was a really good time. But I think the most memorable part was we were in a village, and we were giving away rice and beans to the local people. And this one man, he was an older man. I don't think he knew very much English, but he looked at us all and he said, "God bless you all." And that really hit hard with me.
Did it?
Yeah.
That's great. That's really great. Not everybody gets to experience something like that. And how about you, Samantha? What memories come back to you from the trip?
I love that it was so hands-on. Like, everyone who wanted to got a chance to work in a medical clinic, and I think mentioned before, like, we got to practice drawing blood on each other, and which, I mean, I don't know where else a kid would be allowed to try that. I loved playing with the kids, and I've taken Spanish since second or third grade, so it was really a great opportunity to just try to talk to them and learn a little bit about their lives.
Are you fluent in Spanish?
I'm not fluent in Spanish. I would not say that. Like you were saying before, I think you really have to, when you can like think in your head in Spanish instead of English, I think you've hit that point. And I'm not there yet, but I'm planning on continuing my studies.
Now, when you start to draw blood, do you start to look at people and then notice their veins?
I wouldn't say that, no.
I actually asked that to people that work, that actually work doing that as their job. And I ask people that, and they do. But it's just because they do that all the time.
Sure, yeah.
But you just did that a few times.
Just a few,
Is it hard? Is that hard?
It took me 2 tries to get it.
Did it?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
But I had a good teacher.
Yeah. Drew, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I actually want to be a doctor.
Do
so
you?
I'm going to try and do a pre-med track at Elon.
Wow.
And then go from there.
Wow, that's great. And how about you, Samantha? What are you thinking about being?
I want to be a psychologist.
Do you?
Not sure which area yet, but I definitely want to go into that.
What makes you interested in that?
I don't know. I took a few psych classes at school, and my mom actually majored in psychology, and just the whole aspect of human nature fascinates me, really.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Drew, thank you for coming and joining us and talking to us a little bit. I wish you great luck down in Elon, because it is a beautiful school, and I think it's great that you're reaching up to the medical profession. That's a wonderful profession. Dr. Gaudia, you just look at him and how great of a guy he is. You can see the kind of people you'd work with. So I want to wish you the best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
And Samantha, great luck down in South Carolina. I mean, it's definitely going to be nice and warm down there, a lot of sun and a lot of fun. But, you know, it won't be easy, and psychology is not easy, but that's a great profession, too, and I really wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks.
Also joining us are 2 additional members of the Kids Helping Kids student team, so to speak, a junior at Upper St. Clair. He works in the literary magazine Montage. He's in the French Club, the golf team, National Honor Society, and he has a very interesting story about being injury prone, which we're going to ask him. Steve Garbin. Steve, nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
And next to Steve is a senior at Upper St. Clair High School. She's possibly going to Penn State, UVA, or UNC, still not sure, member of the National Honor Society. You say you're the captain of the lacrosse team?
Yep.
That's impressive because you got a good lacrosse team. And Megan Christie. Megan, nice to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Steve, what is the injury-prone story?
The
Let's get right to
story.
it.
All right. It's a little embarrassing for me, but the first day that we were in the Dominican Republic, I was working in the medical clinic, and the medical student that we were with was doing blood draws for different diseases. And anybody that was interested, she was going to teach them how to draw blood. And I'm interested in the medical field, so I decided to check that out, and ended up actually passing out. I was able to get my way to a chair, but I did lose consciousness for a little bit, and Dr. Gaudio was actually nice enough to bring me back, which was nice of him.
What made you pass out? When they were drawing blood on you, or you were drawing blood on somebody else?
I was just watching one, actually.
Oh, you were watching?
Yeah.
Little watch action.
Right, exactly. It was the first time I'd ever seen anybody have blood drawn, and it kind of got to me, I guess. So.
You know, when people draw blood on me, I don't look. Like, I look the other way. I don't know why, but I kind of understand what you're saying. Although my son, when he had it, he was watching the nurse just go bing, and I thought, boy, that's... So that really affected you, though, that kind of to a point of where you passed out.
Well, yeah, apparently. I mean, tried to keep a sense of humor about it. I mean, I make fun of myself about it still a little bit. But I was kind of able to redeem myself later in the trip, and I actually was able to draw blood myself off of somebody.
So you faced your fear.
I did, exactly.
And you overcome.
Right.
Now, that's impressive.
Well,
seriously, I mean, some people might just say, I'm done. I'm done. If that makes me pass out, I'm done. No more medical thoughts. I'm going to go be a writer on a literary magazine or something. But are you still thinking medicine, possibly?
Yeah, I am. Those are actually my two kind of top career choices right now, are either a writer or a doctor, and I don't think I could be on further ends of the spectrum.
That is.
But,
That's two really.
I mean, yeah.
You know, most people either have like a math strength, math science, or a English creative strength. You kind of have both sides of the brain. Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to brag about myself, but yeah, I'm pretty good in both English and science. So.
Well, that's nice that you don't want to brag about yourself, because people don't like that. But it's nice to be humble, and I think that you were very humble right there, and that's good. That's a good thing. But now, Megan, yeah, lacrosse. Why do you like lacrosse?
I've been playing for about 6 years. Both my brothers play. It's kind of like a family sport, and I don't know. It's just the one sport that once I started playing, it clicked, and I just have always liked it.
What position do you play?
Attack.
And so you score goals?
I do sometimes.
Sometimes. Now, Upper St. Clair has gotten really, they've really improved the girls program from just a few years ago.
Yep, I would say just in the past year we've really improved.
And what's the reason for that?
We've had a couple coaching changes. The coaches we have now have been here for a couple years, and I think it's just the girls on the team really this year just made it a lot better.
So how about your college thoughts? Where are you thinking you're going?
Most likely Penn State.
Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you thinking of studying there?
Pre-med, I think. I probably won't major in that. I'm thinking about majoring in biochemistry or something along those lines, but I think I want to go to med school after college.
Well, we have a lot of medical people thinking of medical. That's great, though. I think it's wonderful. Now, Steve, why did you want to get involved in this group?
I actually was just in my social studies class and saw it written on the board, and my teacher just mentioned it briefly that Mr. Flynn was going to be taking a group to the Dominican Republic, so I just decided to go to the first informational meeting that they had, and I was really interested in it. And I think what really did it for me was that I was kind of thinking to myself that I hadn't really, I'm just another kid from Upper St. Clair, and I hadn't really done much to help really anyone in the world, and I mean, I do little things in the community, but nothing like this, and I just felt like I needed to do something. So
That's an interesting way to put it. I'm just another kid from Upper St. Clair, but I want to try to help someone. And I think that's really cool that you had that thought, and that thought brought you to this group, and it ended up really taking you on a pretty neat trip. And how about you, Megan? Why did you want to get involved?
It's kind of the same story. I was in Miss DeWollett's history class, and she mentioned it, and I started going to meetings, and the more I heard about the trip, the more it sounded like something I would be interested in. Between like the medical thing, which I already had an interest in, and just volunteering. I've been doing that for a couple years too, so it just sounded like it'd be a good opportunity.
Steve, what were the tough parts of the trip, do you remember? Was there any, besides passing out, was there any other parts that were tough?
Tough? Probably going home was the toughest part, I'd say. I mean,
it was that
without
good,
a doubt.
huh?
Yeah, it was.
You could have stayed longer.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And how about you, Megan?
I would agree with that. I think by the time we left, we were all so close. It was really hard for us to like just separate and go each to our own house that night.
And Steve, how about the fun parts of the trip? What sticks out in your mind?
Fun parts of the trip. I had a really good time, actually, for the majority of the trip. I mean, a couple things stick out. I mean, just talking to everybody at night was always great. Just getting to know everybody, and I actually remember specifically we were trying to get back to the place that we were staying, and there were, I think, 5 of us with Mrs. DeWollett that had to take a cab, and that was the craziest cab ride that I've ever experienced in my life.
Crazy driver.
Yeah, a little bit. They don't really. Driving's a lot different in the Dominican Republic than it is here.
And how about you, Megan? What was the fun parts for you?
I enjoyed the whole trip, working clinics, going on hikes. We rode in the back of trucks everywhere we went, which was interesting, especially with the driving that you mentioned. I was actually in that cab.
Yeah.
That was an interesting ride.
Yeah. And Steve, how did it impact you? How did this trip impact you as a person?
As a person? Wow. Well, the trip, for me, it really helped me because I tend to be really into grades and academics and stuff, and it really just showed me that there's more out there than Upper St. Clair High School and what my transcript looks like. And there are bigger things than what you do with your education. I mean, you need to be able to show that you can do something with other people and make a difference in the world other than just doing well on tests and things like that.
What drives you academically, if that's important to you? Is it external or is it internal or both?
I don't know. I almost feel like I'm kind of a smart sort of person, but I almost feel like I have a responsibility to do well since I've been blessed enough to have those sort of gifts, and I feel like medicine's probably a good thing for that too, because I can use that to kind of give back. So.
Well, we all have gifts, and it's neat that you recognize yours. And how about you, Megan? How did it impact you? How did this trip impact you?
As a lot of people have said, I think it gave us all a greater appreciation for what we have, and exposure to what we don't, or what other people don't have, and how lucky we are just to be living like in America. You see like the contrast from the Dominican Republic, and we're just so lucky here. And also it taught me that I want to do things like this again for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's great. Steve, good luck to you in your senior year at Upper St. Clair next year.
Yeah, thank you.
And Megan, good luck to you on to college. It's going to be a
Thank you.
wonderful time. Penn State's a great place. Okay, thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Also joining us are 2 seniors in the Kids Helping Kids program at Upper St. Clair High School. Our first senior here is going to West Virginia University. He's a DJ, which I think is cool. My brother's a DJ. I want to talk to him a little bit about that. And a computer programmer, Mike Howie. Mike, it's great to have you here.
Oh, great to be here.
And next to Mike is also a senior. She's going to Penn State in Maine. What a great place. She's in the National Honor Society on the varsity soccer team, and she won Best Hair. I want to talk about that. Carly Highland. Hi, Carly.
Hi.
So how do you win Best Hair? I guess by having the best hair?
That's pretty much it. We do the superlatives, most likely to succeed and all that kind of stuff. And best hair, I was campaigning hardcore and I won.
Does your hair take much work?
No, this is natural, except for the color. It kind of does this on its own.
So it's just a gift.
Yeah, it's like its own little creature.
Cool. Mike, what's up with DJ? I mean, how did you get into that?
I got into it about 2 years ago. My friend started throwing computer gaming parties, and he was looking for somebody to control the music all night. So I'd always been interested in music, so I was like, hey, I'll do it. And then from there, other people heard about me and started hiring me, and just kind of snowballed and became a DJ.
Where do you work as a DJ?
Anywhere, really. Anybody that's going to throw a party or any size, really. They can call me and tell me what they want to do, and I'll DJ it for them.
How does one be a good DJ?
Just really listen to whoever your boss is, whoever hires you. Listen to what they want, play the music they want, and don't really fight it.
So you look at the crowd.
Yeah.
Like when you see a crowd like me, what kind of music would you play?
I'd think something more nostalgic, maybe Beatles, like you were saying earlier, great band. Pearl Jam, maybe something like that. I don't know.
There you go. There you go. There's the thoughts. What do you think my favorite group is?
I'd say the Beatles.
Not true. But that's a good guess. Steely Dan. Did you ever hear them?
Yeah, my dad's a big fan of
Oh,
Steely Dan.
I love them. Now, Carly, you do the morning announcements at Upper St. Clair High School. Do you want to be perky to get everybody all fired up for the day?
If I had the energy for that at 7:30 in the morning, I would. Generally, the kids in the high school don't appreciate that kind of thing, but I try to be.
Do they tell you that?
From personal experience, this is my first year I've done it, so I've been watching previous anchors and hearing everyone else's thoughts on them and kind of took that in.
You know, Carly, I'm a big advocate of starting high school at a later time in the morning. Do you think that would be a good idea?
An awesome idea.
Yeah.
I think all around.
Absolutely, because I think your age of kids like to stay up later at night. I just think it would be a great idea, and I don't see why we don't do it. There's a couple states that actually do it. Mm-hmm. I think Pittsburgh should do that. Do you think that would be a good idea, Mike?
I would love that idea. I'm not a morning person at all, so a later start would definitely help me.
Yeah. Now, Mike, why did you get involved with this group?
I got involved with it because I'd always wanted to help people, and I'd been a big outdoors fan, so this really combined the two and let me do something I thought would be really a lot of fun and could help a lot of people.
Yeah. And did you do any DJing down there?
No, I didn't.
No. Could you bring music? Was there any music there at all?
Some people brought iPods. I didn't bring mine mostly because there was not really any way to charge it while we were down there.
Oh, I see. I see. And Carly, how about you played on the varsity soccer team? Mm-hmm. Now, Upper St. Clair always has a good girls varsity soccer team. What position did you play?
Right, we do. The goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper. Now, that's like someone being out on an island.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so how do you mentally deal with that?
I've always kind of thought of goalkeepers as like our own special breed. I enjoy it a lot, mostly because I don't like to run a whole lot. But.
Well, what do you enjoy? Do you like to dive, or what do you like about it?
We do a lot of cool stuff like that, like diving, kind of like sacrificing your body to make the big save.
Are you fearless? Like if a forward's coming at you and you can maybe get the ball before they kick it, do you just run and put your head right into it?
Not the head, but that is one of my favorite parts, going out and making the save. I've had a couple goalkeeping related injuries, so
Do people talk to you on the field?
There's a little jawing every once in a while during a corner kick when we're all kind of jammed in there.
What do they say? Do they ask you what's for dinner?
Yeah, polite conversation. No, it's typical of all sports.
Really,
the girls trash talking. There's nothing wrong with that.
Do they?
A little bit. If it's a big rival like
who?
Peters Township is our #1 rival.
So they talk trash.
Yeah, because like the girls, we all play in different like cup teams, which is from like all different townships. So you kind of know them, so you'll do a little kind of.
Gotcha. Now, Mike, why WVU?
I've always been in West Virginia. I have a lot of family there. My aunt and uncle live in Morgantown, and so do my cousin and her husband. And I've always just been a fan of the school. I've always liked what they've done, thought it's a good school.
Do they still burn couches?
Maybe on occasion. Can't really say for sure.
Carly, why Penn State? Why did you pick Penn State?
That was the only school that I ended up applying to, which I kind of regret that. But I went to visit it, and I was expecting, because it's such a large school, I was expecting it not to be as nice as it actually was. Like, I went there, and like everything was clean, it was pretty, it was well kept. And when I looked around, all the students, almost everyone that I saw walking on the streets had like Penn State gear on. And while you're on the trip, anytime that someone goes to the school, sees like a visiting group, they yell, "We are!" And the whole group is supposed to yell back, "Penn State!" And like that kind of got me like fired up, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. I want to be here.
Well, it's a cool place. I can tell you, my daughter goes there. She absolutely loves it. And West Virginia is a cool place, too. I know some people that have gone there, and that's a really fun place, too. Now, how did this trip, Mike, how did it impact you?
It really showed me what else is in the world, and that not everybody is as privileged as we are, and kind of helps you realize that, you know, you can just shut up about your little problems, like, oh, my TV doesn't work. That's not a big problem. Because down there, their problems are, I can't get food today, or I can't get medicine today.
Yeah, that's great. And how about you, Carly? How did it impact you?
Like everyone else has said, it's a big eye-opener. Before I went on the trip, I was really into things like this. Like, I'm part of the one organization. They help with world poverty and the AIDS epidemic, Invisible Children, and I was always kind of like, I really wanted to get out and do something. I felt bad because I never had actually gone out and helped people. When I heard about it, I went to the meeting and I listened to what they were saying, and I said, this is absolute for me. I have to get on the trip.
And why do you get involved in those kind of groups? What makes you think about that kind of these big things?
Living in Upper St. Clair, I think, is one of the reasons, because it is such a privileged township. I mean, it makes you wonder like what else is out there. It makes you wonder, what can I do to help people that don't have all the kind of like advantages that I have.
Mike, as a DJ, do kids at Upper St. Clair have rhythm?
There are a select few that have a lot of rhythm, but then, of course, just like anywhere else, there's people that can't dance at all, so big mix.
Should they have rhythm classes?
I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea. It could spark some interest throughout the school, but...
I think you can teach someone a little bit, I think.
Possibly.
Maybe. Well, what do you think, Carly? Did you ever go to any dances at Upper St. Clair?
Yeah, I've been to like all the school dances, homecoming and stuff like that. I think I'm a pretty decent dancer.
Yeah?
I'm not gonna lie.
Did you learn it, or do you think it's biological?
I think it's mostly biological. It's really not something you can teach.
Okay. Well, anyway, I want to thank you both for coming. I think what you did going to the Dominican was really great. And I'm sure you think that too, because it seems like you got a lot out of it. And great luck to you, Mike, at WVU. What a neat school that is, and Thanks. A lot of spirit. And Penn State, Carly, is absolutely fantastic. I know you're going to love it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Also joining us are two additional seniors of Kids Helping Kids, Upper St. Clair High School. Our next guest is going to Northeastern University in Boston. She played soccer and was on the yearbook. She is one of the Spanish translators for the trip, which was huge, I'm sure. Ashley Gilbert. Nice to have you here, Ashley.
Hi, thank you.
And next to Ashley is also a senior. She's going to the Culinary Institute of America in New York. She's a library media assistant and Latino outreach. She loves to cook, but she's also very good in Spanish, and I know she was very helpful down there. Marcella Ogrodnik. Marcella, do you go by Marcella, or what do you go by?
People usually call me Marcy because Marcella is too long.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you like? What would you rather they called you?
Marcella, because it's my name.
It's your name?
Yeah.
And people don't know that. So now people know that. Everybody in Upper St. Clair, now when you go to South Hills Village, now they know that you'd rather be Marcella. Is that a good thing?
It's a good thing, but they're probably still going to call me
It's kind of late
Marcy.
in the game.
Yeah.
you know, because you'll be leaving
Well,
like,
even as Marcy.
yeah. Oh, well. Now, Ashley, did you know Marcy wanted to be called Marcella?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm
See,
sorry.
It's okay.
We learned things, and you're saying you're sorry, because that's nice. Now, you guys did a lot of the Spanish translating. Ashley, talk about that.
Oh, well, actually, I was kind of nervous before going down there because I thought that Marcy was fluent, and I was really
Marcella.
Marcella was
That's okay.
fluent, I'm sorry.
Okay, you're used to it.
And I was really self-conscious about my Spanish speaking, but it turns out we just have the same amount because we both have Spanish.
So you were a little intimidated by Marcella
Right.
because you thought she was a Spanish extraordinaire. But you kind of similar planes, you're thinking?
We kind of helped each other out down there.
Well, how did you gain your Spanish?
I don't really know because I've just learned it in school as much as anybody else.
Did you start in junior high?
Elementary school.
Oh, there's elementary school Spanish in St. Clair. That's great. But you weren't sure how you could do when you got there, you're saying. You were a little bit not sure.
Apprehensive, yeah.
And so when you got there, how did it work out?
Really well, actually. Actually, some of the guides that we had there that were staying with us, they were from Haiti, so they spoke French. And we had some other kids who could speak French, so we got around the translations going from Spanish to French and English.
Gotcha. Marcella, when did you start learning Spanish?
Well, my mom is from El Salvador, and I've been going back there and forth throughout childhood. So I've kind of had like a little bit of a background and help. And then my junior year in high school, I studied abroad in El Salvador for 6 months.
Wow.
So that helped enormously.
Did your mother teach you Spanish as a young person?
She started teaching me it, and actually I was embarrassed by it. And I told her, because she would talk to me in front of my friends in Spanish, and my friends would be like, what is she saying to you? And like, they're all confused by it, so I was embarrassed. And so I told her to stop talking to me in Spanish.
When did you start getting embarrassed?
Like 4th grade.
4th grade.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when people can speak English, but they speak in another language in front of other people, I think some people think that they're saying things that they don't want to hear.
Exactly, yeah.
And you realized that in 4th grade. That was pretty, like, perceptive.
Sure.
You'll just take that.
Yeah.
I always say all compliments accepted. But so you started Spanish, and your mother from El Salvador, and how did Spanish go for you down in the Dominican?
Well, the time I was using Spanish the most was whenever I was working in the medical clinic with Dr. Latanzi. And he's an OB/GYN, so doing his certain medical stuff, the Spanish, I didn't know a lot of Spanish translations for medical things, because in regular daily conversation, you usually don't talk about that certain stuff. So it was a little difficult for me, but I brought my Spanish dictionary down, which helped a lot, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that night.
Yeah, that night
After she
we
got
like.
back, we were like scouring through the dictionary trying to find words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that helped a lot.
Yeah, that's great. Now, Ashley, what was it like to play soccer for Upper St. Clair?
Incredible.
In what way?
It was just a lot of fun. You really bond with the girls on a team.
Is soccer a contact sport?
Absolutely.
Do you like that part of it?
That's a good part of it.
You know, I was talking to a soccer player, a female soccer player, a couple years ago on a show, and she told me that what she liked was after school, all the stress that you have, you go out and just start banging into people, and it was a great way to relieve some stress. Is that,
yeah,
does
it's
that
a really good
make any sense?
stress relief.
Is it? Yeah. And Marcella, what do you do for fun?
I like to hang out with my boyfriend and go downtown and go to concerts and that sort of thing.
How long have you had a boyfriend?
Since the beginning of this year, January, about.
I wonder about that because I never had a girlfriend in high school. Do you recommend that?
I would recommend it because it teaches you a lot I think about other people and relationships, and this is kind of the time to test the waters.
Yeah.
And you'll have mess ups, and you'll do things, and they'll do things, and you learn about other people. It's not just about yourself all the
Gotcha.
time.
What got you into cooking?
I've always been into cooking since I was young, but what really made me enjoy it was whenever my mom, she got a job and nobody at home wanted to cook dinner anymore. So around 7th grade, I think, I was 13 or something.
Were you elected?
Well, my dad started it and it wasn't that good.
Wasn't working?
So
What was he making?
His specialty was chicken enchiladas, but canned sauce. I don't know, it was really gross for me. I didn't like it. But so then I cooked dinner every night, and I still do that. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Could we hire you?
If you want to pay me, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could be the cook for our show.
Sure.
Okay. That's a good idea. We'll look into that. Ashley, have you ever eaten anything that Marcella cooked?
Not yet.
You had
No?
cupcakes, remember?
No.
From the bake sale fundraising.
Oh yeah, those were really good cupcakes.
Good cupcakes?
Okay.
Good cupcakes.
Good cupcakes. Most cupcakes are good, but I guess not all. Now, why Northeastern, Ashley?
That's a good question. My dad keeps asking me that. Well, it's in Boston. I think it's a great college atmosphere with, Harvard and all those, and MIT and BU, BC, a lot of colleges in there. And I really like their co-op opportunities where you can still work abroad while you're in college and make money. And they have opportunities in a bunch of different countries that you can go to and do all sorts of things with. I really like
Gotcha.
that.
I like it when someone says, good question. 'Cause that's what I do. I ask
Makes you
questions.
feel
So when
good.
you say it, makes me feel good. Yeah. Especially that your dad asked you that question too. So that's really even better. Now, why have you decided, Marcella, to go into cooking as a profession?
I decided that I would rather walk into work every day with a smile on my face than having to fake it. And that's my true passion.
That is so mature. Are you mature?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes we
but
are.
I'm still a kid.
That's
so.
a good answer. I mean, I'm sometimes too myself.
Yeah.
But so that's really neat. I think that's a great way of looking at what you want to do when you grow up. Ashley, talk about the trip. What did you like about the trip?
The whole thing.
Did you?
Yeah, we bonded a lot on the trip, as other people have said, but not only with each other, but with the people down there. And I know the first day down there, we ran a clinic out of the house, and once they find out that we could speak Spanish, they keep coming to us and asking for help, and just doing everything that you can, and they're, every little bit counts for them. I felt like I could have done so much more, but they were so grateful for every little thing that we did.
Did they have a soccer ball down there?
Yeah, they did. On the last day, we brought it out. And
They
kinda
probably
gave
liked
them.
that, huh?
Yeah, they were really excited.
Yeah, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
And how about you, Marcella? What do you take from the trip? What did you really? What kind of stuck with you?
I think what stuck with me the most, as most kids have talked about, was the difference between, Dominican life and here in Pittsburgh and just in America. Because, you look at half the world and most of them are in poverty, but and seeing as how much little most people do to help the rest of the world makes me think that, the philosophy that we were here for, I was put here in this place in such a granted environment to do something more than just sit around and enjoy it. You should give back to the people that can't.
So you recognize that?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I don't know if, of course, is interesting because I'm not sure everybody recognizes that. I just think it's really neat that you recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, what do you want to do when you grow up?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you're young. You have time. You have time. Anyway, thanks for both of you coming. Can you just say one thing in Spanish before you leave? How about you, Marcella? Say anything you want and then tell us what it was, okay?
I don't know what to say in Spanish.
Anything.
Hola, mama. Hi, mom.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well. She's going to watch this show. And you say one thing, Ashley.
Muchas gracias por esta oportunidad. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Oh, that's great.
That's a
Well,
good
anyway,
one.
thank you guys for coming on and doing that. I think that's really neat. And Marcella, best of luck for you in going
you.
on to the culinary school. I think that's really wonderful. We all love to eat, and
Yes.
we all have to eat, so it's a great profession. And Ashley, good luck to you up in Boston. It's a great place. Okay. Also joining us are two additional members of Kids Helping Kids. They're both seniors at Upper St. Clair High School. Our next guest is a senior. She's going to St. Mary's College of Notre Dame. It's right across the street from Notre Dame. She's a vice president of the National Honor Society. In the German club, plays clarinet in the marching band. Please let me introduce Nicole Gans. Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
And next to Nicole is also a senior. He plays on the varsity tennis team, that really good varsity tennis team that Upper St. Clair has every year. He's also involved in National Honor Society, and he's going to Grove City College, a really good school for secondary education and mathematics. Scott Yannick. Scott, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, Scott, how young were you when you started playing tennis?
I was about 8 years old. It was about 10 years ago. And it actually started, I went with my friend to go to his private lesson just to go along for the ride. And the coach let me hit with him, and I actually found a skill there, and that's when I started playing. So.
And what's neat about tennis, do you think? Not, like a lot of people play football, basketball, baseball. What's neat about tennis?
What's neat about it is it's a really independent sport. You're kind of put out there in a vulnerable position. And it's mentally and physically demanding at the same time.
Who's the hardest guys to play against? What do they do?
For me, since I kind of just get everything back, I can really run the ball well. Guys with a lot of power. So
you're like more of a runner, and you can always get stuff back.
Yeah.
And what's the best part of your game?
Probably my backhand.
And that's usually the weakest part of most people's game.
Yeah. That's what's good about it, because then I can use that as a weapon. And yeah.
Did they ever figure that out soon in the tennis match?
Yeah.
Like, this guy got a good backhand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, Nicole, what's it like being the vice president of the National Honor Society? What do you do?
Well, we have meetings. We have meetings like once a month, I would say, and we kind of helped our sponsor organize like the blood drive, and we sent out updates for kids, how much points they had, and we got to speak. They just had induction a couple weeks ago, and we each gave a speech. There's 4 officers.
So what's that like, giving a speech, in front of like the whole school or something?
It was for all the inductees of National Honor Society and their parents.
Did you have to prepare for that?
Yes, I did.
And what were you thinking when you got that assignment? You're thinking, I have to speak in front of all these National Honor Society. Was it their parents too?
Yeah.
So it was a big crowd.
It was a little bit bigger than I was used to.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts going into that?
I didn't think I would be that nervous, because I try usually, I like public speaking, but there are times that I get really nervous before I go up, but usually I can like shake myself of my fears before I get up. But I walked up and I noticed how many people were actually there, and my knees were wobbling a little bit. I was like, oh God.
It freaked you a little bit.
Yeah, it did. But
well, how'd you do?
I thought it went well. I did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I think? I think we all have that fear of public speaking, but I think the one way that I overcome mine is just preparation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're also into leadership stuff. How come?
I think it's really great the older we get in high school, that especially senior year, we have the opportunity to work more with teachers and adults and to be an example for younger kids.
So leadership appeals to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Why?
Because I like to be able to be responsible. I think that it shows in certain people when you can talk to other people, learn about good communication, learn about organization.
Gotcha. Now, Scott, why did you choose Grove City?
I chose Grove City because it has a good reputation, and my mom and dad went there as well as my brother and sister. So I couldn't not think about going to Grove City. And when comparing to the other schools, I just thought it was a better fit for me. So.
Now, Scott, in another life, I worked for Ryan Holmes, and we used to recruit kids from Grove City, and they were always, I thought, some of the best employees we had. So it's a really, I think it's a great school. What do you think about it going in there? Why did you eventually make that choice?
Eventually, I made that choice because and it wasn't really anything personal. I just felt like God was leading me to go there, and I don't know. I just felt like that's where I belonged.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, why secondary education? Is it you're going to be a teacher, a math teacher?
Yeah, I found a lot of interest in math throughout high school, and I really enjoy trying to explain it to people and trying to share that passion with them. So
Yeah, that's good. Now, Nicole, St. Mary's, why did you choose St. Mary's?
Well, when I first started, I really wanted a smaller school, and I wanted to be able to, get to know my teachers and have like opportunities to have leadership in different things and to study abroad and everything. And so, but I was kind of nervous at the same time because I'm not exactly sure what I want to study, about if I went to too small of a school, not being able to have like all the majors that I wanted or all the opportunities. And so they have like a combined curriculum, like I can take classes at Notre Dame, and so I have like the benefit of having a small school with a big school environment. So
What was the bonus of being a clarinetist in the marching band? Why was that fun?
it was fun.
What's fun about that?
We got to go to all the football games. We got to go to Hershey when they went to states. We stayed in the hotel rooms, and so that was really fun. It's not always fun when it's cold or raining or something. We have to go outside and get all wet and everything, but it was a really good.
You know, Nicole, my wife went to Franklin Regional High School, and she played the clarinet in the marching band. She has some of the best memories.
Yeah, you make good friends.
Yeah.
Get to meet older people when you're younger.
Yeah,
so.
it's really neat. Now, Scott, what made you want to get involved with Kids Helping Kids?
Well, I had done some mission trips with my church in the past, and I was actually enrolled in Miss DeWollett's American History, and she mentioned it, and I also heard something on the announcements. And I just thought it'd be a really cool thing, like to do the same kind of thing I did with my church, but with kids from school, going with the school. I mean, you don't really get that opportunity. When was the last time you got to go to a foreign country on a mission trip with people from school? So I just thought I couldn't pass that opportunity up.
How is it different between going with your church group and going with the school group?
When I go with my church group, they have like an organization, and everything's like really planned out, like the whole week's like planned out ahead of time and everything. And when we went here, it was more free. It was like we were the pioneers. Didn't really know what we were doing from day to day. It varied, and we just kind of did whatever, depending on the weather and everything. Just it varied every day.
Gotcha. Now, Nicole, what made you want to get involved with Kids Helping Kids?
Well, unlike a lot of people, I haven't had like a lot of experience like going to any other places. I've never been outside of the United States. I've been to like Ohio and Florida to go to Disney World, but I kind of figured that the older we get, it's like kind of cool to be able to like have a more global perspective and to have a bigger range of like your thoughts about like the world and to be involved and stuff. So it seemed like a really good opportunity to get to see more parts of the world.
You know, that's a neat realization, actually, to have that at your age, because it really is true. When you go somewhere else outside of the, quote, bubble of Upper St. Clair, it really changes your mind, doesn't it?
It does.
In what way? How did it change yours after coming back and saying, wow, that was really something? How did it impact you?
I think that when we were down there during the first couple of days, it was kind of discouraging to a lot of kids to see just like how much poverty there was and how many horrible things that happened. And then, you know, we came with like t-shirts and rice, and we're like, sorry, you live in a hut, like we have t-shirts and rice. But throughout the week, we learned that, you know, it did make a huge difference to show that you care, like you're from, like we are kind of ambassadors of the United States. We are a representative, and for a lot of people that will be the only representative that they see. And you just feel very powerful that each person, like we all are different ages, and we like to do different things, and we're going different places next year, but we could all make a difference in like the world. So
yeah, that's really neat. Scott, how many trips have you been on?
Mission trips?
Yeah.
4.
And counting this?
Yes.
Yeah. And what keeps you coming back? What's there for you? What's in it for you?
Well, I like to go by like the old saying my mom always tells me. It's a Bible verse. It's to whom much is given, much is expected. And I think that people who are given much, there's a lot expected, and I feel like this is what we are supposed to do. We're blessed to be a blessing, and I think that's what keeps drawing me back. Like, I just feel like this is what we're supposed to do.
That's great stuff, Scott. Oh, goodness. I mean, I sit here talking to Upper St. Clair students, and it's wonderful. I'm just glad we did this show because you guys have just taught me a lot just listening to you, and how I just think that is wonderful. I'm not sure people really understand that are 3 times older than you. So I just think that's wonderful. Now, Nicole, what was a fun part of the trip that you can think of?
Jeez, I don't know. I think the most fun was like to being able to come back and to be scared about how things would change, but to know that it doesn't always have to change. Like, my sister is actually one of the people who's going on the trip next year, so it's like fun for me to get to see and like share with her everything that's exciting and get to know that like she's gonna get to experience the same thing and be able to like walk down the hall and see Mr. Flynn and Mr. Wood and everyone.
Were you surprised at anything that you found down there?
Yeah, I was surprised by basically everything. I mean, they told us we were like the pioneers, like he said, and we weren't exactly sure what was gonna happen, and I knew it would be fun, but I didn't expect it to change my life the way it did. So I think I was just kind of taken aback by how much I personally changed and how much I could see other people change too.
So it really changed your life?
I would say that, yeah.
And how? How can you describe that?
I think it's neat to be able to see, I said before, like how much you can do, and it's neat to be able to see that we're not limited and by where we live or by who we are, where we're going to go next year, what we're going to major in. Like there's like a bigger picture that's important.
Absolutely. And now, and you also didn't realize your picture was going to be in the Upper St. Clair Today magazine.
Did not realize that.
Was that like a highlight?
I mean, I felt pretty famous, I would say.
I'm thinking you're famous. I'm thinking you're real famous. Now, Scott, are you going to continue tennis in college?
Yes.
Are you? You're going to play for the team up there? And how are they? How's the team?
Oh, they're good. It's in a division called the PAC, which is, I don't know, President's Athletics Conference. And it's Division III. I mean, tennis wasn't like a major contributing factor for me deciding school. It's just kind of something I'm doing on the side. So I think it's pretty competitive and they're pretty successful. So.
Have you enjoyed your years at Upper St. Clair High School?
Yes, definitely.
In what way?
There's just lots of opportunities for to get involved, and I felt like, I don't know, I've taken advantage of those and gotten the most out of it.
And how about you, Nicole? Have you enjoyed St. Clair?
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Has it?
Yes, it has.
What's the funnest parts?
I think it's just fun to be with all your friends and to be like able to go to the Dominican. I'm going to Germany this summer with the school, and being able to like meet all the teachers and have them be good like references and resources and everything.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks for coming, both of you. Scott, congratulations on your tennis career already. You guys won some championships, and it's really neat. You've gone on 4 trips. I think that's wonderful that you spend your time to do that. And I think you said one of the most profound things that I can remember in 12 years of doing this show about being a blessing. Say that again.
We're all blessed to be blessing.
And what was the other one before that, one verse that you said?
To whom much is given, much is expected.
Oh, man, that is so great. So it was just great for you to come on and say that, because I think that gives people a lot to think about. And we should, because we have so much here. We really do. And Nicole, I want to congratulate you on going and doing all this wonderful stuff, but also good luck to you in your future at St. Mary's. I think college is a wonderful time, and you're both going to see how much fun that is. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Okay. Also joining us are our final members. We've had such a long show today, but a great show with some really neat teachers and students of Upper St. Clair High School. Our last 2 are finally here today. And our first of our last 2 is a senior. She's going to Ohio University. She's in the French club, the treasurer of the National Honor Society, field hockey player, and she's a good dirt maker, and we're going to talk about that. Kira Brown. Kira, it's great to have you.
Thank you.
And next to Kira is a senior. She wrote the article in the Upper St. Clair Today magazine that I read to help me prepare for this day here. And she's going to Carlo for nursing. That's really neat. Boy, we need nurses. And she is also an expert dirt maker, Holly White. Hi, Holly.
Hi.
Now, Kira, what's up with the dirt? And when you said dirt originally, I thought we just meant dirt, but it's not just dirt, right?
It's not just dirt. It's edible dirt. Pudding, Oreos, and the gummy worms. And we had many opportunities to have bake sales at school for the Dominican Republic trip. And we raised money with cookies, but as we have learned over the years through especially, at least for me, field hockey and all the pasta dinners, we always have dirt as the dessert, and it's a big hit, so we thought, why not try it and make some money off of it at the bake sales, and it certainly was a big hit.
Was it?
It was.
And Holly, were you also in the dirt world?
Oh, yes, I was in the dirt world.
And what's the dirt world like?
Pretty dirty.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
But do you eat some of the mess-ups?
Oh, yeah. Well, there weren't really mess-ups because it was just the instant pudding. It wasn't the kind that you had to boil, so it wasn't like there was anything wrong. But we would definitely be licking the spoons a couple times.
Do you have a sweet tooth?
Yes, I do.
Like, when you go to Halloween, when you've gone to Halloween, what are your favorite things?
Oh, gosh. Pretty much everything. I used to be a really big Three Musketeers person.
Did you?
But I moved up. I categorized it. It's the Three Musketeers, it's the basic. Then you go up to Milky Ways because they add the caramel in. And then you go to Snickers and they put the peanuts in it. So I've moved up along in the food chain there.
So that there is you look at it like moving up.
It is. Yeah, you move up on the...
I never thought of it that way.
Well, it's the same basic ingredient. You know, you got the whipped chocolate they have in there, and then they add more each time.
How did you figure that out?
I'd bite into the candy bar and I'd look at it.
But you thought about it then.
I did. I thought about it because I've noticed as I've grown up more, I've stopped eating the Three Musketeers, and I'm more of a Snickers person now.
So you're aware of things.
I'm aware of things.
Yeah, which is I think it's a good trait, you know, because I'm old, and I never gave candy bars much thought in that I just think I like this one and I'm going to eat it. I never thought there was a graduation.
There is. It's a big deal.
That's really neat stuff. This is why we're here today. Exactly. That's not why we're here completely, but I think that's partly. We want to learn things. And I just learned something from you. Kira, do you think about candy?
It's actually funny you ask that because I'm going to college with the desire to pursue nutrition and dietetics. So whenever I look at candy bars, I usually turn to the nutrition facts before I eat it. But I do like candy. It is good.
What's your favorite?
I think in terms of candy bars, I like Twix.
Really?
Solid choice.
Twix.
Or Take 5 because I like chocolate-covered pretzels.
Really? Now, Holly,
That's a good choice.
You give her kudos for that.
I do.
So you have like candy opinions too.
I do. The Twix is always good. You get the crunchy and the nice. I think was that the commercial with the song about it where...
Yes.
Do you know the last...
Or that might have been Kit Kat.
Snickers, no. Peanuts soar over chocolate-covered mountains and waterfalls of caramel.
There you go. Now, like, you know what the last thing in my house, the last ones that are left for the Halloween candy, do you know what the last candy bar is? Guess.
It's not Reese's.
No,
definitely not Reese's.
Definitely not. It's a hard guess. I'll tell you. Kit Kats.
I was going to guess that. I was.
It's because everyone gives Kit Kats. You always have a few Snickers and a few Three Musketeers and just a surplus of Kit Kats.
You do. You sort it out, and it's like there's little piles of each, and Kit Kats have their own row.
You know, speaking of that, in Upper St. Clair, do you get the big bars or the little bars, Kira?
Well, when I was little, I used to have an opinion in this theory that it depended on the neighborhood where you went. So I live in Trotwood Hills personally, and then there are a few other neighborhoods scattered around me. So, just for variety, each year you would try a different neighborhood and you kind of formed that opinion.
Yeah, so you got to know what neighborhoods to go to.
Right.
And do you share that, Holly?
Oh, I do. I live near Rossmore, which everybody thought was really good with the candy. And, sometimes people would be surprised. There were houses with just like a pixie stick, which would always break and get all over your candy. But then
Really?
there were some houses with like the big Hershey's bars, like the...
What do you think of like apples and toothbrushes?
I have never received an apple or a toothbrush, but I did get a carrot wrapped up in aluminum foil once.
You're kidding.
It was a baby carrot too. I like carrots, but I was upset that it was just a little one. I would have
You wanted the big one.
a big one or a couple baby carrots. It was just one, so you couldn't even really enjoy it that much because it was just one carrot.
Well, Kira, you say you read labels.
Yes, I think I annoy a lot of people sometimes by reading labels, but
I think that's awesome. No, you don't annoy me because I read labels, and I've taught my kids to read labels because I think that you should know what you're putting into what you're eating.
Right.
So what do you look for in the label looking?
Usually I look for how much protein is in it, or fiber, or calories and fat and saturated fat, just kind of the main things that you normally hear about.
What are things that when you see, you're like, no?
Just, I don't know, processed things and with hydrogenated stuff.
Yeah.
And,
there you go.
recently, actually, my mom just had to go on a sodium diet, so that made me much more aware, too, of how much sodium is in things. When we were in the Dominican Republic, they tried to have a vegetable at every meal and stuff. And so we ate a lot of canned vegetables, I guess you could say. So I'm sure that those were had a lot of sodium in them.
Yeah.
But, when we were down there, what you ate, you enjoyed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You took it for what it was.
Now, Holly, you wrote the article in the Upper St. Clair Today magazine.
I did.
How did you get that? How did that happen?
Mrs. Kish, actually, she had called us when we were making our dirt and asked us some interview questions, and she had mentioned something about needing a student to write an article. She and I go back to my Girl Scout days, so she called me up and asked me.
So you stepped up.
I mean, kind of. I guess I was one of the people who she knew the best. So.
Well, it was a good article.
Thank you.
I mean, it helped me kind of get a feel for what you guys did. I really liked it in the pictures. I thought it was great.
Thank you.
Now, Kira, did you read that article?
I did.
And what did you think?
I thought it was a great article. I think it's a good thing when the students have a chance to voice their opinions and their experience and their excitement about a trip.
Sort of like this TV show.
Right.
Exactly. Now, Holly, you're getting compliments from both sides.
Yes.
Is that a good thing?
I guess.
There's this old saying that my mother-in-law has, and it's about compliments. All compliments accepted.
That's it?
Yeah, that's the saying. But I mean, you thought there was going to be more. But, just as a joke, I mean, when we say, oh, this is a really great dinner that you prepared for us, and she just says, well, all compliments accepted. And it just sticks with me. So you're getting lots of compliments.
Yeah,
that's
I appreciate
good.
them. Yes.
That's good. Now, Kira, why Ohio University?
Well, when I applied there, I was not aware of how many members of my family had actually attended Ohio University. But when I had decided that I wanted to pursue dietetics, I looked on the American Dietetic Association website for schools that are accredited. And so I really limited my college search to those schools. And so I met faculty there and was up there a few times to go to some fairs and stay overnight, and I just really enjoyed the atmosphere.
Well, Kira, I think that the Americans here, which we all are, need dietetic help because the American diet is not wonderful, and so I think it's a great thing that you're doing. Now, Holly, you're going to be a nurse.
Yep.
Why did you pick that?
I volunteered at Children's Hospital for the past couple of summers, and I fell in love.
What did it for you down there? What do you love about Children's Hospital?
It's actually people think it's twisted how I phrase it, but it's hard to explain. Like, sick kids have the best outlooks on life. Like sick kids are the easiest people to deal with because like sick adults usually have more knowledge of what's wrong with them, and they tend to complain more, and they tend to be a little bit more like pessimistic.
Grumpy.
Yeah, but whereas when you're dealing with kids, they know they're sick, they don't really know the details, and they're happy, they just want to play.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That is, wait, let's go over this again. Sick kids are what again?
They're the most fun.
They're fun.
They're fun. Sick kids are fun.
Sick kids are fun.
They appreciate things more than normal kids. Because I don't want to say sick kids aren't normal, but like any regular kid who hasn't been hospitalized for a long period of time, they don't really have as much of an appreciation for, being able to play.
Yeah, they don't have that perspective.
They don't. And
That's
the little
neat.
kids that you're working with, they're just so happy to have somebody to play with, so happy to just color with someone. And it's nice to be able to have somebody that enjoys that so much.
So that made you want to be a nurse?
That, and I've always had an interest in medicine. I watch Discovery Health Channel like it's my job, so love all that, the medical aspect.
Yeah. Nurses, it's such a great job because you're right on the front line. And they can just make or break patients' stay and their health. And I think you are going to run into, are you going to go into pediatric nursing?
Yeah, pediatric nursing.
Yeah. So there you're going to have some sad stories, but you're also going to have some wonderful things.
Yep.
And I guess you've seen both of those being down there, huh?
I have. There are some sad stories.
How do you deal with that?
Usually it takes one time to have a really sad story, and then you kind of learn that you can't grow too attached. There was actually a little baby there this summer, and I grew so attached to her. I was coming down, I went down twice a week, and I had gone down I think 4 times a week just to spend time with her because she needed to be held constantly because her parents lived far away and couldn't come be with her. She was just crying all the time, and I got so attached, and it was so sad when she left because I didn't know. I'd never met her parents. I hadn't, seen anybody else interact with her, and it was just you didn't know where she was going, and you felt like such a connection with her because after about a week of time with her, she stopped crying so much, and she was more she would tense up when you held her at first, but then after a while, she was holding my finger and loosening up around me, and it was just it was so sad to see her leave and not know who she was going with.
Oh, I see. Now, Kira, why did you get involved with Kids Helping Kids?
I have always been very involved in the church, but I personally have never been able to go on a mission trip. So this was, I felt, my first opportunity to really jump on that experience. And so I was also in Mrs. DeWillet's history class, and they always stressed that the applications were still due and you could still fill them out. So I just took one and took the liberty and took the time to explain why I was interested in the trip.
Gotcha. And how about you, Holly? Why did you want to do this?
I didn't actually have either of the teachers, which is kind of upsetting. But I had heard Mr. Flynn speak a couple of years ago about his trip to Haiti. And I went up to him afterwards and asked him when I could sign up. And he said there weren't going to be any trips anytime that year. And as soon as I heard on the announcements that there was going to be a trip, I jumped right on it.
That's neat. And Kira, tell me about what you got from the trip. What did you get from doing this?
One of the main things that I found really interesting was being able to overcome the language barrier. Some people, they said, didn't know French or Spanish. I personally have taken French, and I was able to apply that with the tour guides who were Haitian. So they spoke French, they spoke Spanish, and we were helping them along with their English, which was kind of fun too. But I think that was a really good experience. And then I do a lot of babysitting. I'm really interested in kids. So the kids that would come to our Rancho Wendy's where we stayed, but they would always come every day, and you'd see the same kids come from the area, and you just developed relationships with them. And that was just really fun to see just how much they're enjoying life with so little.
Yeah. How about you, Holly? What did you get from the trip?
I don't even know I got so much from the trip. It's hard to pick out just one thing. You develop a new appreciation for everything, and you learn so much, and it's just you develop, like Mr. Flynn said and all the teachers said, you develop a family. And it was nice to come home and be so close with everyone and to share that bond together. Like everybody asks you how it was, but like only the people who went can really like truly grasp it. It's a good experience.
It's another world, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So would you recommend it, Kira?
I would. I think it's good to become more cultured. That was my first time out of the country. I know Nicole said she's going to Germany. I'm going to France while she's in Germany with the school on the exchange. And I just think that the more experiences you have, they shape who you are and your character and how you view life and then how you impact others, too.
That's great stuff. I couldn't agree with you more. And how about you, Holly? Would you recommend this?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what do you, why?
It's such a moving experience. It's so nice. I mean, when I came home, it was like I appreciated everything. Like I opened up my closet the first morning and just looked at all my clothes and said, oh my gosh, like how have I taken this for granted for so long?
So it really had that tangible of a impact, huh? That's really neat. Well, Kira, thank you for coming. I enjoyed your time we had to spend together. Ohio University is going to be a really great time in your life. It's something to really look forward to. College is wonderful. Holly, what a great profession, nursing. I mean, that is just wonderful. You can do so much there, and I think it's just such a gratifying thing to do. I wish you the best of luck with that, because I know you'll be helping a lot of people. And thanks again, and good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
And I thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed it. Boy, we had 16 of the 18 kids of Kids Helping Kids here today. And just some wonderful, wonderful kids who has a wonderful experience. And what a great group this is. It keeps getting bigger and bigger. And you can apply and go up to the high school, Miss DeWillett, and you can talk to her and get an application. It's something that I think is really, as you can just see from all the kids that we talked to, it's a life-changing experience by helping others. So when you give, you just gain so much more back, and that's really what everybody said here today. So I hope you consider it, and I hope that they come back and talk to us again, because people have thoughts about Upper St. Clair, this, that, or the other thing, but this is one wonderful thing that has happened here, and to give is a wonderful thing. And I hope you enjoyed our program today. And I'd like to just leave you with this. Please consider being an organ donor. And the reason I say that is if you ever needed an organ to save your life, I'm sure that you would take it. So with that in mind, I think we all should be organ donors, because it's something that the gift of life is the best thing that you can possibly give to somebody. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope you come back and watch our program again. Take care. I'm your host, Lee Adams. Take care, everybody.